and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of StarCrafting. Today's match is a game between nAni and Empire Happy. Now, I'm not really sure who nAni is. I don't know him. I don't know him at all. Never seen him play. I think it's a tournament account, though. I think this is a high-level Protoss that is using another alias, but in any case, he's a high-level Protoss playing none other than Empire Happy, spawning on the right side of Antigua Shipyards. And our friend the Protoss, the orange one over here, nAni, is going to be spawning on the left side of Antigua Shipyards. Now, guys, sorry I haven't been casting over the weekends. I have been casting. I've been uploading the games. They haven't been working. They haven't been showing up in news feeds, etc., etc. Life has been hard for StarCraft Inc., but all is good now. Better than before even. We're on a roll. We've got our website up. We've got our blog up. We've got our Facebook page. If you want to follow us, it's pretty easy to do so on all the platforms. Links to all those things in the description. And we are seeing nAni take a scary, ballsy 15 Nexus. I don't know how to feel about that, because it's just not really a safe thing to do, especially if it gets scouted. However, this is a long map, and Happy hasn't scouted it yet. He's got to go all the way around. And when he sees it, it's up to Happy to decide if he's going to pressure it and try to punish the Protoss player for it, or if he's going to try to expand himself. And with the orbital command, he can catch up to, even though he's put his expansion down later, he can catch up if he tries. So, very interesting play by nAni right off the bat. And man, today I discovered that I am a moody StarCraft player. I've been doing really well on the ladder lately, and I'm trying to pull myself back up to Masters for you guys. But I took some crappy losses today that were just my own fault, 100%. I played so bad, and I went from rank 1 to rank 2, and now I'm a little bit... I feel a little bit like Idra. I just want to smack some bitch upside the face and blame her for all my problems. That's how it works, right? So there are Marines on the way. It looks like Happy will try to pressure the Protoss for doing this ballsy thing here. And only a Zealot is on the way. And Zealots don't do too well against Marines when they're kited. So, and the Marines know that that Zealot's out. They will wait to go in together, or they'll just plane back up, I guess. So, one single Zealot. This guy's one brave motherfucker. He just held off 3 Marines. Two Marines and an SCV, and he didn't even know it. But yeah, so the expand will go up for the Protoss player, it looks like, and I think Empire Happy's still interested in challenging that expansion, but because he's not taking an expansion of his own, he's gonna go with full force. He's gonna go with a Hellion. He's gonna go with Marines. He's gonna go with a Banshee too. It looks like we are seeing that 1-1-1 build from Empire Happy, and a bunker going up as well. I guess he's afraid of some kind of ballsy counterattack from nAni. I say counterattack because, you know, those 2 Marines cross the map. But we might see the Protoss player pop out. I like the placement of the Zealots on the ramp as well as a force field, stopping that Hellion from ever coming up the ramp. And the probes pulled from the line to wall that Hellion off so the Stalker can execute him. I love the positioning here for nAni. This is brilliant playstyle right here. And all that out of 1 gate. He's now transitioning into 3, 4... Oh, wow. 3 gates, a Robo, and a Stargate. And he's got his pylons down, so he will not be supply... Oh, he is already supply blocked. Shame on you, nAni. Shame on you. But no, he's playing pretty well so far. Warp Tech is almost done. And just a boatload more pylons. His income is going to be way ahead of his opponents. Yeah, we're looking at 1,000 to 700. That's some pretty solid macro going on right now. Back to the production tab. We do have just plain military units, although it looks like finally the command center is going down for Happy. And no, not much military. I would say that Happy's pretty behind. Getting this Raven here, probably for PDD. I can't picture it being for anything else, because he does not have any Marauders. So without PDD, his Marines will be extremely vulnerable to Stalker harass. And I am so curious to see how this turns out. This 3-1-1 build from the Protoss after 15 Nexus. Very strange build, but very interesting at the same time. I'm surprised Happy didn't just try to end the game. I think that this choice to expand, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. It's a little bit late. He does scan the Phoenix, though, which was lucky timing there. Although, once again, the Stargate, is the only construction building in the game, the only production facility where you can actually see what's building inside it. I mean, with other buildings, you can guess according to the add-ons or simply what the building is. But, it's the only building in the entire game that you can see what is being produced inside it. So a scan can tell you a lot, even if the unit isn't out yet. So, we are going to see those Phoenix just fly into the base and scout around. I don't think they're interested in doing any damage. Although, there they go. They're going to try to snipe some SCVs. There are no Marines back here to deal with them. Happy not going to try to touch this. He's not going to pull us. Oh, there we go. There's some Marines to shake up the Phoenix a little bit. Those Phoenix are out of energy, so an end to that harass already. And I think they saw what they needed to see. I'm going to take a look at nAni's vision for a second. Yeah, he saw everything, that 1-1-1, and he even saw the army composition that exists for the Terran player. We just saw a probe go down horribly. That was not even a fair fight, and his poor little face is rolling away. And this is kind of a scary push, only because of the Raven and the Medivacs. If there was no Raven and no Medivacs, there'd be nothing to worry about. But there's Ravens and Medivacs. So, this one big... Oh no! The Observer gets spotted, but at least he knows now that this is crossing the map. This probe is going to get murdered, just like plain axe murdered, if he doesn't get out of there. But it's always good to have a probe up here for spotting, so you know exactly when those Terran units are going to be in position to attack you. So you know exactly when you need to be using your force fields. So another warp in of units, choosing to warp in Stalkers, which is an interesting choice considering the Raven at full energy. What he really needs is just like one High Templar to feed back that Raven. And he's going to engage with Stalkers in front! Not a good idea, but the force fields kind of worked, wasting the PDD at least. And he's going to engage again, this army being slowly stimmed to death. The Medivac's barely healing anything because he's forced to scoot and shoot. The Stalkers and the Phoenix doing tons of damage to the Medivacs as the army tries to run away. And the Zealots are just being kite to death. But the Stim is killing everything, and the Stalkers taking pot shots at the army. Such... I feel like that paid off for the Protoss player quite a bit. That army is so soft, it will clean up. No, I don't know what he's going to do here. Those Marauders are so powerful when they are stimmed against Stalkers, and they will run home. I feel like the Protoss player could have chased that down and finished it off with the Stalkers and Phoenix. But now he's going to cut his losses. He's going to continue to macro hard off 2 bases. And now he's starting his 3rd, which I think is a good timing for that. Whenever you hold off a push, that's a good time to take your next base or to counterattack, depending on what kind of army you have and what you know their production is like. A 3rd is being constructed for Happy, being constructed in his own base, and the orbital is being morphed. That way he gets the use out of that mule or the scan or the supply drop before he has to fly the command center. So always a good way to do things. Building the missile turret right in the mineral line in advance to stop any kind of air harass or observers from scouting this, I suppose. But I mean, if the observer dies to it, it knows what's up. So I don't know. It's just very preemptive thinking. Very nice. I like it. And so a 3rd orbital is officially up for Happy. Happy, if you don't know, is one of the most talented Terran players around right now, and really likes this bio build, which is weird to me. A lot of players are like, no, bio builds are pretty vulnerable. I'm gonna go mech, but I don't know. Happy never really transitions out of it. He goes balls to the walls bio, man, and he's good at it too. I watched him just like face stomp Whitera, who's the Grandpa Toss, one of my favorite Protoss players ever. And we're looking at nAni playing a very gateway style as well, not really transitioning out of this gateway style. He really needs some kind of tech to deal with the bio in mass numbers. Once this gets too big, force fields and Zealots won't cut it because the Zealots will die before they make contact. They do have Zealot charge, which allows them to do DPS even if they don't make contact. As soon as the charge proxies, and for any of you who don't know what proxy means, it means activate, but as soon as the charge proxies, it gives them 1 hit. So they do manage to make contact even though they don't technically make contact. It's kind of like a ranged cast. So yeah. Anywho, those Phoenix have they're still alive. I'm very impressed. 4 kills, 3 kills. Get out of there, Phoenix. No! Oh no! Oh, that made me sad. A veteran Phoenix goes down. Oh my God, that's a lot of zealots. Jesus Christ. Now, as a Protoss player, you do not want to engage a choke like this with zealots. It's just not how you gotta do it. Oh God, this makes me sad. So, oh no! 1 EMP does so much damage, and the army will try to engage here. There are so many bunkers, and the Protoss player is engaging with melee units in a choke. Look at those zealots melt. That is not what he wanted to do. However, he did deny this third, and he might try to get out of here. That's what he needs to do. He needs to run with what's left over, and 2 force fields deny the army from chasing them, and these bunkers stop the army from getting out on the low ground too. Very funny indeed, and a good chunk of that zealot army gets away. But here we go, the orbital right back down where it was, and the Protoss army can't deny it any further. The Terran player will push out, will kill this pylon here. It's not supply blocking the Protoss, as he did lose a vast number of his units, and a big ball of High Templar here. I don't even think Storm is researched yet. No, it is on the way currently. So they are just Archon and EMP, or not EMP, feedback. Archon and feedback, that's what they're for. There's a lot of Terran units. A scan goes down, it sees the Protoss army. I think the Terran army would actually come out ahead in this engagement. I'm not sure why it's pulling back. An Immortal joining the fray. So Immortal's tech is still on the way. Colossus is going to be out soon, as their robotics bay is now started, and Stalker's now joining the mix, which is good, because as the army is running away from your charge lots, you want to be taking pot shots, or you're just not doing any damage. And their stimming causes them to take AoE damage to the entire army, remember that. So the more you can make them stim and run, the more damage you are doing, even if your zealots aren't making contact. And then every time your zealots use their charge ability, you're doing even more damage. Well, the Stalkers take pot shots and do even more damage. So even though you're not making contact with a stim running army, Terran army, you're still doing damage. So keep that in mind. He's going to come up for this base again. I hope he doesn't make the same mistake twice. Do not push down that ramp. Oh, good EMP going down on both the Archons and the Zealots. Storm going down. This is a different story. The Storm in this army, this choke is not as scary. One High Templar tries to get off a good Storm, but EMPs to the high ground with scan. A good Storm once again causes the Terran army to have to back off, allowing the Protoss army to take that expansion out. What a great play by the Protoss army. And camping the top of this ramp. High ground is a good advantage for him. However, good EMPs going down on the Archons caused the Bio army on the bottom of the ramp to just one-shot those Archons. More EMPs going down. You can see the Archons just get vaporized. And at one High Templar goes to the edge to try and feed back the medevacs. And this Protoss army will have to retreat. And the Terran player actually sparing this one Immortal, who will regain his shields and become a good opponent once again. So the Protoss army will be backing off and regrouping. Colossus will join it soon. There are 2 on the way with Thermal Lance. Weapons grades for the Protoss is 3-3. And for the Terran player, we are seeing probably, only 2-1. I expected to see 3-3 from him as well, but that is not the case. And so that's scary fast upgrades for the Protoss player. I'm very impressed. And a new command center is being constructed for Happy. He will have his hands full trying to deal with this. And not sure what to tell you guys. This could easily be the Protoss' game already, as he is taking his 4th. And maybe we'll see what kind of damage Happy can do with this drop, as I don't think the Protoss player is aware of it. He has no spotting for it at all. He is gonna drop a pylon. He almost saw it, but I don't think he did. And now he will see this. It's not. Will nAni even bother dealing with this? He actually is gonna bring his entire army down to deal with this drop, which is a strange thing to me. I don't know if I agree with that. A whole probe Maynard is coming down to this expansion. He will lose the Nexus, and it's just not worth his army's time to go down there anymore. He needs to get to this expansion. There is a High Templar here, which can feed back, but there's no energy on the medevac. A couple Zealots here, and the feedback goes down anyway, but not worth it to him at all. But I mean, energy is energy, right? And I thought, he's going to go for the Gold Expo. He will long distance mine the Gold Expo instead of taking this again or this. This is a really hard base for him to take, as he has to walk all the way around, as you saw. It is one of the starting locations, and Blizzard's like, you know what, we're not going to have any close distance maps anymore, which is good for the starting of the game, but really tricky when you're trying to take your 4th and 5th base. Anyway, so here goes the engagement. Colossus in the mix will cut the front of this Terran army up quite a bit. And the Protoss has high ground advantage. A couple of EMPs going down, but Storm goes down as well. Terran army's on the low ground, getting right on top of the Storm. Empire happy, GG's. This is the Protoss' game. What a game indeed. The weapons upgrades and the Storm and this high ground advantage really played to the Protoss' advantage. Had he had tried to engage on the low ground, it would have been game over. And had he kept trying to engage on this ramp, it would have been game over, as chokes are Terran's favorite friend, as long as they are standing on the end of it. Both Protoss and Zerg never want to be in a choke. Nobody ever wants to be in a choke, but man, every unit on the Terran army is ranged, so they can maximize the benefits of engaging in a choke. If you have Colossus, same deal. Choke is like Christmas every day. Anyway, I'm Mrs. Incarnum. Guys, check out our blog and website. If you want to support the show, check out our ads, whatever, guys. I'm Mrs. Incarnum. I'll see you later. I think I said that already. Cool.